I sure can. There've been so many stories. This particular one came across our helpline. So, a chief cook on board the vessel, he contacted us and he said he needed some help. So we spoke with him, and he then gradually told us his story about 2 years back, sometime 2023. His young son died by electrocution. It was a terrible accident. He was, experiencing a lot of chronic stress out of it. And he started sleeping poorly, which was a very common symptom. He started having anger outbursts on board, and he was just, hitting things in a galley, and he was just trying to manage how he felt about the whole situation. So he contacted us, we chatted, and not one time, but we chatted with him 3 times, and we realized that he didn't grieve properly. After the 3rd time we contacted him, we followed up with him, and then the deep emotions started pouring out. We refocused his closure on grieving properly. And I was very glad to hear that even when he signed off, we contacted him again to make sure that he was all right. And he was much, much better after that. So a little bit of a happy ending to that situation. We have cases where we supported seafarers for 2 years, just to make sure that the person is recovering properly. So I think that moment of realization that we have to continue supporting a seafarer, that's the most important thing for us. Oh yeah, and I think it's a good shift. Through our cadet conferences, we get the younger cadets. They're growing up in a different generation. The way they approach things is far more open. And I think through conferences and cadet engagement, we get them to realize that they can speak to anyone about their mental well-being. But for existing seafarers, usually we think of them pretty tough, they're not opening up. But over the years, and I must say, probably from the time of COVID-19 lockdown, I think that there weren't many avenues for people to vent and to dump their emotions. The way they speak, the tone, is much better. They're not so defensive. They are becoming more open to discuss things that are troubling them and seeking support. I think it would be more than one thing, but as a package itself, I think number one, the industry-wide drive towards destigmatizing mental health issues, that is really, really important, starting from the top down. And then companies are starting to provide psychologically safe working environments. That is really important also at that level. And also, seafarers are starting to realize that even though they're strong, resilient, there will be times where they need that additional support, So new programs like our Seamates, where we are now training seafarers to become well-being officers on board, gives another layer of support to seafarers. So I think all of this coming together, I think the future looks much, much better for seafarers' overall well-being. Yeah, I think for me, one of the most poignant ones, that sticks in my mind is a seafarer whom we've been supporting. And one of the questions I asked was, what made you come to us for additional support? And he says it's because of my crewmate. But he came to me and he said that I noticed that you are not yourself. Something is troubling you. And why don't I, together with you, get additional help? That simple act of observing, understanding your friend and crewmate, and then being brave enough to suggest additional help, makes a lot of difference. And by the way, this seafarer, he had suicide ideation. So it's possible that this crewmate and friend just saved a life.